If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome back to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hopefully you've had a great past weekend and a great beginning of week.
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
I'm sorry for the delay, people. I was feeling under the weather again. So, as Lady Luck would have it, that we couldn't record this past Sunday. But we're here now for you guys. You know, we'll never leave you astray. What kind of heroes would we be if we left you guys out in the cold? We'd be pretty shitty heroes.
We'd be anti-heroes.
Yeah, we'd be pretty shitty heroes. And I guess that's like par for the course for us, you know. But what can you do?
To each their own.
Yep. Anyway, guys, hope everyone's been doing well, though, and I hope you guys are ready for some cool conversation tonight. We're talking about superhero-based video games. Yeah, because one thing that you guys may or may not already know about Kevin and I is that we do love video games.
Indeed, we do.
Yeah, like that's another passion of ours. You know, of course, you guys know that we love comic books and superheroes and things of that nature, but we're also pretty avid gamers, if we do say so ourselves.
Oh, indeed. We are also both decidedly PlayStation players, even though we both have owned Xboxes and
right.
Played those two. We're not prejudiced.
Yeah, that's the conversation that I do not want to bring up. I don't care if you're PlayStation, Xbox,
I like both.
Computer.
Yeah.
I mean, if
and computer, all three.
If you're Nintendo, you may be a little left out in the cold. I'm joking.
Nah.
But anyway, guys,
we're gonna switch it up.
Yeah, even though we are late here, we got some comic news. Yeah, and because we're a couple days late here, there's actually more comic news than normal. That's just kind of par for the course, I suppose.
Sure.
But first up here in comic news, Jamie Foxx is confirmed to star in the Spawn reboot as the Man himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool, I think. Of course, Todd McFarlane, he's extremely close to the project as far as, working on it. And, there was even a picture posted of him and Jamie Foxx, I guess, after the deal was sealed and all that. So
good, cool.
Yeah, and, I'm looking forward to the movie. Hoping that, it can, turn out to be the Spawn movie that, we need for 2018.
Yeah, help me remember, which studio is involved with that movie? Who's going to make it?
No idea yet.
No idea yet. Okay,
Nope.
We don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. It'll be cool seeing Jamie Foxx go from the sparkling blue man he was to a different character.
Yeah, referring to Electro. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, the dubstep master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's my first thought too. Is how is he going to transition? But I mean, I guess that's not really the transition that he's making, just because it's another character, another role,
right?
So it'll be interesting to see how this is played out. And the thing about the Spawn movie is that I don't know if it's going to be an origin movie. I don't think it is. I think that this is going to start off with an already established, Spawn. So it'd be really interesting to see how he plays this role and to see what direction they take the movie in.
Yeah.
I think Todd McFarlane has already stated that this movie is going to be more of like a, not so much a horror, but like a suspense thriller superhero movie.
Sure.
So I think that can turn out to be pretty good.
Yeah. I can see value in it being a new story or an origin, really. I could see it going either way there.
Right.
Because an origin would be valuable in introducing a lot of present fandom of the comic movies into the world of Spawn.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think what differentiates Spawn, though, from other heroes, and that's to why he wouldn't need an origins, because he's such a mysterious and uniquely dark character that it could really add to his mystique to just kind of dabble on his origin, give little hints at it. And, and while the people that know, and the ones that don't, it could just make it more even suspenseful, because you know how it is for certain characters and certain properties, how it almost seems like it's better that we don't know anything about them. Like, for example, like a Joker origin, like we don't need that. Yeah, we don't really need it.
Hey, we've said this before.
Yeah, yes we have. But here's to Jamie Foxx and Todd McFarlane and everybody working on the new Spawn movie.
Here.
Yeah. Next up, Disney is preparing to battle Comcast over the custody rights.
Oh man.
Yeah, so they're not going down without a fight, man. They're trying to put up, I mean, at this point, Fox has got to be loving it, like, or at least like the people that own Fox, those rich assholes.
I know, right? That 1%,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're about to be billions of dollar richer, like whichever way you go. It's ridiculous.
Neither of them are going to imagine the amount of money they're making right now.
Right.
Because it's just too much.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like their children's children are going to college.
Well, I mean, these guys are already probably hundreds of millionaires.
True.
And then just to add billions on top of that, I mean, like, I'm not saying this is dropping the bucket, but like their great grandchildren are already settled in.
That's stupid. I can't imagine that much money, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I just...
All right.
Let's go work for them.
So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing about this whole custody battle, about the rights for the Fox properties, of course, overall, I do want Disney to get the rights because I'm a selfish comic fanboy, and I want to see all the Marvel properties under one umbrella.
That's true.
Yeah. However, I am aware of the potential dangers that it means if Disney acquires Fox, because that would definitely make them by far the largest conglomerate in the industry. And that could be dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. And they're just going to bully around and push their weight on everything like they have already done in the past on multiple examples we don't have time to go into.
Right. Yep. So, however that turns out, I hope it turns out for the best, whatever that is.
Sure. I hope they release the numbers. I'd love to read how much these people are bidding.
I think
this is an interesting auction.
I believe correct me if I'm wrong, homies, but I believe Comcast's offer was around $62 billion. That's what Comcast threw up. Yeah. So shit.
Hot diggity damn.
Yeah. Next up, the Penguin is reportedly going to be the main villain for the Batman.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. We haven't seen, the Penguin in a live-action movie since 1992. Yeah. Since the early 1990s Batman film.
I wonder if they'll get the same guy to play him.
Danny DeVito?
I know, right? Like, I can, but I don't want to imagine it.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I understand that the Penguin is supposed to look, like a little nothing next to Batman.
Right.
But picture Danny DeVito next to Ben Affleck.
I can see it.
It wouldn't even be fair as to the size difference there.
True.
Yeah, he wouldn't fit in. It wouldn't look right.
Whoa.
Like he was definitely right for 5'10" Keaton and Tim Burton's version and view of Gotham City and his view and take on the Penguin. But for Matt Reeves, because I've seen a good bit of the new Planet of the Apes trilogy that Matt Reeves did, and that gives me hope for the Batman trilogy and kind of tonally what we can expect.
Right.
And I don't see Danny DeVito.
I wonder who they will cast for that.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to try to go either the old school route with what the Penguin looked like in the animated cartoon and the older comics versus this newer age Penguin that we're kind of getting, what with the Cobblepot and the recent
the Gotham TV show.
Exactly.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah, I feel like they'll put their own unique spin on it for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think
we'll see.
I think, and maybe I'm just hoping, but I'm thinking/hoping that we'll get something that's more similar to Penguin in the Arkham series, which we'll be talking about later on.
Yep.
So yeah, here's to the Batman, and hopefully we see some Deathstroke in there. You guys didn't, cast a badass Deathstroke for nothing. So let's finally get him in the movie.
Agreed.
Next up, this right here is going to. It's not a spoiler, but I'm going to say that it is just to give you guys a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for Punisher Season 2. Set photos revealed a closer look at Jigsaw. Yeah. I mean, so if you guys didn't already know that, that Ben Barnes' character isn't dead now, I mean, obviously he wasn't dead, but he's coming back in this upcoming season as the villain Jigsaw.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And they have some set photos of him. And honestly, like some people feel that they were underwhelming a little bit. And as I was saying, So anyways, so there's like a mini break in there. Sometimes you need a break for like a Mentos or something.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Are you sponsoring Mentos?
That's a shout out to Mentos. If you guys need a sponsor, then the Superhero Homies will sponsor you.
Mentos give us free stuff.
Yeah. But no, anyways, I've seen the set photos myself of Jigsaw, and I mean, like, obviously they're not the final product, so they can still be touched up and all that. He doesn't look like he does in the comics. I will say that. He's not nearly as disfigured or, hideous, but he does have like obvious scarring on his face. But once again, like, this is, during current production. Now post-production, when they touch it up, I'm sure it'll look a lot better than what it does. Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can see that playing off. Damn, that's rough. Yeah. Wow.
Next up, the Fox shareholders will vote on Disney merger this summer, and so this just adds to the confusion as far as the whole deal goes. So I guess like it doesn't really add to the confusion, but it does add to like the I guess the excitement on it, because I guess with the bidding war between Disney and Comcast, the Fox shareholders, the ones who are going to get most of this money,
right?
They're going to vote this summer as to, I guess, who they're finally going to give the deal to.
Well, that's smart. Set a deadline. That way the companies can, bat it out, feel the pressure, and then bid more if necessary. Or in this case, way necessary.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Right. So,
devious.
Right. Who would have thought that Fox holds all the cards here? And of course, guys, they still have movies in production. Like, Fox is still cranking out movies.
Yeah.
And that won't stop anytime soon. So, next up, this one I thought was pretty interesting.
What's up?
The Wonder Woman sequel would be set in the 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah. Most people are thinking it's going to be set in 84 because there was a logo tweeted out, I believe by the director, Patty Jenkins. But anyway, there was a logo tweeted out that was it showed the Wonder Woman logo with the number 84 next to it, leading people to believe that the Wonder Woman sequel will take place in the year 1984.
Yep,
they have confirmed that it will take place in the 80s. They haven't verbally said what year, but 84 sounds as good as years any, I suppose.
And we've already confirmed the villain for this one as well.
Yeah,
and
Cheetah.
Even Kristen Wiig being the actress for that role, which I think is a very interesting call. I'm really curious how she plays it out. Yeah.
I mean, just because, we haven't seen her in that type of role,
No, not really.
Yeah, this is really going to be, I think, her moment to show that she can do more than what she has. In the sense of, like, character development and showing range as an actress.
She's a hilarious person, and she's a very smart person, too. I've watched some of her actual interviews and some of her actual Kristen Wiig stuff rather than she portraying someone else's stuff. Yeah. And she's fascinating. I'm curious, but it's like, oh, this is the villain. Oh, okay,
Right.
It's perplexing. Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure exactly why they chose to have another Wonder Woman movie set in the past. I mean, obviously, it's not as far in the past as World War I, but
True.
I don't know. I just thought that we moved to to more current day. But I mean,
I'm not familiar enough with Wonder Woman comics to really decipher like if there's a certain story they're telling and they're setting it in that year. Or something.
Maybe so. We'd
have to investigate that,
right? Let's see. Next up, this right here was kind of just like a mean blue balling tease. This right here made me happy and angry all at the same time.
That's confusing.
Yeah. So the original Teen Titans cartoon could come back for a 6th season under the condition that the Teen Titans Go movie does well. Yeah. So there was a tweet that Tara Strong, she's a voice actress. She voices Raven, I believe, Raven or Starfire. But she's a pretty well-known voice actress. In the Arkham games, she voices Harley.
I was about to say.
She voices. I think she voices Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. Who said I watched that show? No, but anyways, she sent out a tweet basically saying that, hey guys, if the Teen Titans Go movie does well, then there's a chance that they'll bring back Teen Titans, the original show, for a 6th season. And the reason that makes me both happy and upset is happy because there's a chance that Teen Titans could come back, like the OG Teen Titans that everybody knows and loves.
Yeah.
That makes me upset, though, because why the hell does this piece of shit movie need to do well for us to get what we really want? You know? So it's like it's like they're holding us by the balls. You're like, hey, guys, if you want another season of the good shit, you need to go see this horrible shit, you know?
You know what's funny about that?
What's that?
It's almost tempting to play with the idea that we need to support Teen Titans 6 by going to go see this movie.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what it seems like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Does that mean... shit, I don't want to see that movie though,
Me either.
dude. I really don't want to see it.
No, me either. Like, listen.
We already talked about how we don't want to cover that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that's the thing. Like, as the superhero homies, I know what you guys are thinking. Like, we said that we would dedicate ourselves to covering any and all comic book superhero-related material. That is true, but this piece of shit is such a piece of shit that we will not cover it. There's only so much shit that we can handle.
And that's the most we want to get into it. That's about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course we want a Teen Titans Season 6. But I guess what it comes down to is, do we want Teen Titans Season 6 more than we hate the idea of sitting down and watching a Teen Titans Go movie?
That's a pretty awesome way of putting it. And you know what? No. No, I'm okay with not seeing this movie. I don't want it.
Right. It's like, I understand that Teen Titans really was an amazing show, especially for its time. And seeing it come back in this day and age, hell, I mean, Samurai Jack came back for its last season. That was tremendous. So Teen Titans, that could be the same thing for them. However, I don't know if I can do it, man. I don't know if I can watch Teen Titans Go.
No, it's not worth it. I cannot call myself a straight, happy comic book fan man by going to go sit in that theater with that movie. I myself would just have serious issues with my choices at that point. Like, how the hell did I end up here? What am I doing?
Right.
Yeah.
I guess, so for me, beginning of last year, I watched Lego Batman, and I did not enjoy it. Just because it was a Lego movie with a Batman skin. None of the characters behaved anything remotely like they would, even on a comedic level. It was just Lego figures dressed up like superheroes and supervillains, but it didn't really make any sense. Teen Titans is going to be like that, but times 1,000. So
yeah,
can't do it.
No.
Sorry, just can't do it.
Absolutely not.
Next up, and this is brand spanking new. Like, I saw this like just 30 minutes ago.
Oh, what's up?
Warner Brothers announces a Joker standalone movie starring Jared Leto. Jared Leto will be starring and executive producing the movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I don't know if that means that the other Joker, that the Joker origin movie is still on. I assume it is. They didn't say that it wasn't, that this movie is replacing that one. No, it looks like this is going to be in addition to.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Wait, in addition to, clarify that one more time for me.
In addition to the Joker origin movie.
I wanted to make sure I heard that correctly. That's weird.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they could still can one or the other movie because neither one has technically began anything yet.
True.
But who knows?
I wonder if 30 Seconds to Mars is going to be in charge of the soundtrack.
Well, I feel like that'd just be more work for Jared Leto, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But no, I thought that was pretty interesting, you know, to see what they could do with this, you know, how they could take this approach. Because as of now, they don't have any kind of plot synopsis or anything about what the movie could be on.
Sure.
But I do think it'd be a prime example to really show us what Jared's Joker is all about. You know, just to see his Joker more fleshed out with more screen time. However, like I said in the previous podcast, I cannot truly know what a Joker is like until I see him on screen with the Batman. So, I mean, I feel like for this movie to be a success, at least in my eyes, I need to see Batman.
Yeah.
So,
I'm cool with that.
Yep. Next and last up, I say this for last on purpose, the upcoming Avengers game that we've been hearing about for months and months now is rumored to be a reboot of Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh.
Yeah.
That could be valuable.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what the plot would be. Like a synopsis of the first movie or just like...
I don't think it'd be based off a movie. I think that's limiting themselves. Yeah, exactly. I think it could be based off like a Secret Wars, the original. Okay. It could be based off of... I mean, they could once again make their own story like they did with the first two.
Right.
So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they got options, yeah. But that could be really fun. I would love to see like an Ultimate Alliance in this day and age.
Yes.
I spent countless hours with the first two. Still do, actually.
As we'll talk about again.
Yeah. But that's it for comic news, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
Next up, we do still have a comic book question of the week.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let me find it first because that would be pretty important.
Yes.
Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, the comic question of the week is as follows. Which superhero-themed video game was first released?
Oh, dadgummit.
Was it the self-titled Superman game? That was A, by the way. Was it B, the self-titled The Flash game? Was it C, Marvel Superheroes? Was it D, Captain America and the Avengers? Or was it E, Impossible? Impossible. Mole.
Impossible.
Yep.
Is Impossible a superhero? Because I have not played that one.
He is.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat and look it up on my laptop. So there were a lot of self-righteous titles in there. There was Superman, self-titled, the game. Mm-hmm. There was Captain America and the Avengers. Impossible, because how does that not stick out? The Flash.
Yep.
And what was the other one I missed? What was
Marvel Superheroes.
Marvel Superheroes. I don't know. I'm hoping a listener out there right now is sitting there waving their finger going, wait a minute, this game came out first, you know? And like some other crazy option.
Right.
Frankly, I don't know. I'm just going to admit that again off the cuff here. It's tempting to go with either of the DC options or Marvel Superheroes. What year was the game released?
I cannot tell you.
You can't tell me? Okay. Okay, let's do The Flash. I'm gonna regret that. I already regret that, but
The Flash came out on Game Boy in 1993, but he was not the first.
Yep. Who was the first?
The first was Superman, who came out in 1988.
Cool.
Yep. The specs were a little iffy. It looks like it came out on both the Atari and the NES, but primarily the Atari.
That makes sense.
Yep. Impossible actually came out in 1990 on the Commodore 64. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not aware of who that person is, but sure.
Yeah. Now he's not a comic book superhero, but he was one of the first superhero-based video games.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
I just threw him in there because I thought he was fun.
Yeah. A different one from the typical names.
Yeah. Captain America and the Avengers came out for the Super Nintendo in 91. And Marvel Superheroes came out actually on the PlayStation 1 back in 95.
Okay, so I didn't choose the most recent one. I almost did. The second most recent one.
Yep.
But, whatever.
Yep. So that's the comic question of the week. It was almost going to be which superhero game is the worst. And then I was going to list out like some of the worst superhero games ever.
That's such an opinionated question.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so
having fun with my shame.
Oh man, if you keep this up, you're gonna make me feel bad. And then I would have to feel bad about asking you these obviously extremely difficult questions.
How many have I got right? 5 or 6? I can't remember anymore. Where's the board? I thought I wrote it down. I guess I erased it. I don't remember. Yeah.
So that means 0.
Probably 0. All right.
Yeah. So superhero based comic book video games.
Yeah.
Now we've had a lot of these over the years, and like we discussed, some good, most terrible, and very few have been great.
Yep.
But I feel like as time goes on, we've gotten more and more ones leading on the side of great. Than terrible.
Yeah, people have kind of. It goes back to a discussion that we've had numerous times. These studios, these game developers, these creative minds, they know the psychiatry and the science behind creating a product that their audience is going to like, or their audience is going to even, dare I say, become addicted to. The format of certain movies, the format of a TV show, how to tell a story and get people hooked. All these things are known to writers now, and it's accessible. So it makes sense, like you're saying, that they would apply that also to a video game and fix it from old school busted whatever to, hey, let's actually make this to where people can do buy-ins. Let's make it to where people can do DLC, and let's make it so people can have these fun skill tree level ups and searching for optimum gear and all this cool shit. Popular things in nowadays games.
No, yeah, you're right, and that is a pretty good point that you bring up there. And as I think about it, honestly, I feel like it's kind of a roller coaster effect that some of these games have taken. Like for example, in the early to mid '90s, there was a slew of Marvel games that came out for like the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
Sure.
Mostly X-Men and Spider-Man games. And these games were pretty well received. They were pretty much fantastic for their time.
Right.
They were a lot of fun. They followed like canonical storytelling techniques. They had like a pretty well-rounded roster. And they were fun to play.
Yeah. I remember one in particular was the Wolverine Game Boy game. I borrowed it from my best friend at the time.
I played that one
for like 3 weeks. Yeah, and like for 3 weeks I had his game, and it was like, hey, I'm finally giving this back, and I beat it.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, there were a lot of really good games back then that came out, for that time period and all that. But what seems weird is that once we start to, creep into like the late 90s, and as we start to move forward technologically, it seems like the quality of the superhero games took a nosedive.
Right, like they just really had a lot of faith in the movie itself to really do well. For instance, I don't know the time frame of this movie. I might be a little later than the 90s, so help me out here. X-Men 2. That one to me will always be an example of, okay, they're just really using the movie to hype up the game.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Right. But that actually was a pretty well-made video game. I mean, it had nothing to do with the movie, but I thought that the video game itself was actually pretty well done.
I mean, we say that, but remember the cover of the game?
Yeah.
It was Hugh Jackman Wolverine, literally almost cut and paste from the movie poster.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, they're using the movie deliberately to sell the game, but it's like a different style of Wolverine, a different voice, you know.
The question really comes then in the case of X2, the video game, is was this something that the movie developers wanted to have made? Because somebody told the game developers, hey, you guys need to make this game.
Right.
So we don't know if this game was made, you know, like the developers chose to make this game because the movie was coming out, or if they were told by someone else connected to the movie, hey, you guys need to make this game.
I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know who would even be the right person to talk to there.
Right.
Like, we need to get Kevin Feige on like the records and go look for the history.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I think that that X2, the video game, bucks a trend. That trend being that movie-based games are always shit. This game, while it wasn't perfect even for its time, it was actually a pretty fun game. It was equally challenging as it was fun.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was super challenging. I think I must have been like 12 maybe when that game came out, and I finally got it on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And I was stoked. I tried it out. That game taught me stealth kills. Yeah. Like, you could stealth kill hard in that game.
Right.
Yeah. But you're right. It was a damn hard game, and it was good, and you got through it, and it's like, man, I feel accomplished. I beat this game.
Right.
Yeah.
I absolutely did. And now I was hoping for a sequel, because it ends almost with a cliffhanger with Wolverine laying in bed, going over the events of the past however many days, and then he remembers that Omega Red is still out there terrorizing shit, and he's like, "Oh shit, I got to do something." And then that's kind of where the game ends. Don't ask me how I remember that, but I do.
Hey, it was there, you know.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like, the game really had nothing to do with the movie. But I also think that a lot of these movie-based video games, for like legal reasons, the movie studios can't just tell them what the movie is about.
True. You know what's an example of that? The Iron Man War Machine game that came out with Iron Man 2. Do you even remember that?
I did not. I don't remember it. Didn't play it.
Neither did I. But I saw the commercial and it looked bad. It was, you played as either Iron Man or War Machine, and there were weird scenes. Like, there was War Machine on the moon, and he was like fighting some robots or something. And it's like, where is this coming from? Right. This is nothing like the movie. And I think that, to continue setting up examples here, is an example of that. Whereas video games have no idea what the movie's going to be about.
Right.
Yeah, because that's like, what? The moon? You know, yeah.
Yeah, as far as like superhero movies, making superhero video games, and actually living up to the story told in the movie, the best case that we've gotten from that has been Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that game. That was a game.
That was a good game. That was a really good game. And I mean, honestly, like, it's probably one of the best superhero games to come out. Spider-Man 2 was really well done. It was open world, which that in and of itself made it really amazing. But not only was it open world, but it was filled with stuff to do. So it wasn't one of those games that had an empty open world. What's up?
I just looked it up to make sure I didn't make that up in like a weird dream or something. No, the Iron Man 2 video game, here's why you didn't hear about it. It was released on Sega.
You mean Sega produced the game?
Yep. right there. They produced the game. For what console? I mean, it came out in 2010.
Yeah, Sega, they're a game developer now. Like, yeah, they make games, so it probably came out for like the Xbox 360 or PS3.
Oh yeah, it says here PS3, 360, portable, Wii. Oh, okay, cool. It even came out on iPhone now, so you can download it, my friend. Yeah, and play you some Iron Man 2, loosely based on the movie, quote unquote.
Yeah. But no, Spider-Man 2 was actually based off of the movie. Like everything from the story aspect was taken or was based off the movie itself. But they filled the game with a bunch of cool side quests. They introduced other characters. Like I believe the Rhino was in it. I think Mysterio was in it.
Mysterio was in it for a couple of quests.
Yeah.
The second one was like, this is a killjoy.
Yeah.
Like, first one, this is awesome, a big old, like, arena of shit to do. Second one, you punch him once and he's down.
Oh,
yeah. I remember that because I was like, punch! I get, like, no level up ability off of this.
Yeah, that game gave you, like, a little level up skill tree type thing. And also, it was even voiced by a lot of the original cast, including Tobey Maguire. So I thought that was a really cool touch, that we got that kind of authenticity in a video game. But no, Spider-Man 2 all around was really good. Yes, some of the side quests got a little repetitive, but still, looking at what you got back then on the PS2, that was a really good game. And it honestly had no right to be as good as what it was.
Yeah.
But, for me personally, when I think about shitty superhero games, it always comes back to the notoriously bad Superman for Nintendo 64. Yeah, guys, if you guys look that game up, or if you've already played the game, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the shit that people say about this game online is uncanny. It is hilariously accurate as to how bad that game is. So for most of the game, guys, what you do is you literally fly through rings. That is what you do. There are golden rings in the sky, and you as Superman must fly through them.
Oh, that looks horrible, dude.
Oh, it's Nintendo 64, but
oh no, I mean I'm looking at everything about it now. It's like there's nothing here.
Right.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's universally panned as like not only the worst superhero game ever, but one of the worst games. Period.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And it would fall on Superman.
Right. And you know what's great? I could be wrong, but we haven't gotten a Superman game since that atrocity. That game broke Superman so bad that I don't think he's had another solo game since then.
Let's see.
Yeah.
No. Not that I can see. No, a lot of him obviously in the fighting game.
It's going to be in Injustice.
Exactly.
Or Mortal Kombat versus DC.
That was a weird one too. That one I wasn't prepared for.
That one was a little strange just because like the two properties don't tonally fit with each other.
No.
Yeah. But supposedly Rocksteady is working on a Superman game. That's the rumor right now.
Oh.
And if Rocksteady's doing it, and if they put the care into it that they did with the Arkham games, then this can be a really fun game.
Actually, that could be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want them to make a vital, hard tone difference there. I really want to feel that out. Like, I want them to... They've already done so well with the Batman series and to really master those games. I want Superman to have like an entirely different feel, but at the same time still being a great gameplay and a great actual like control scheme and everything, just like the Batman was.
Yeah.
That could be awesome. That could be some yin and yang shit there.
Oh yeah. I feel that the reason why there really hasn't been a Superman game is the same reason why there hasn't been a Green Lantern game, because how do you do it?
Yeah.
Like with Superman, how do you make a game for somebody that that can do everything? How do you make a video game for like a god? And that's really hard to do.
Give me a second. I know I've seen it before. There has been there has. Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters. I knew I've seen it before.
For the Nintendo 3DS?
For the Nintendo 3DS. Yep.
You know I don't count that as anything. No disrespect to the 3DS owners, but I'm strictly a console kind of guy.
Look at that chin. Look at who drew him, man.
Yeah,
they straight up took something from The Incredibles to make this.
That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I'm curious. Oh gosh. Oh,
is that the one based off the movie?
Yeah, this is the one with Ryan Reynolds, and it's the same name, totally different look. Not Nintendo at all. This is like actual more Ryan Reynolds, less Incredibles, man. Yeah.
I wonder if that game was as bad as the movie.
Probably worse somehow. Oh my gosh! Like I really kind of wish we had the time and the power to have all these games and just sample them each for like 15 minutes, you know? Because I would totally be curious about how this game came across.
Oh, Jesus. Man. Yeah, I'm sure that was an atrocious game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure, too.
Yeah, I mean, but, how do you make a good Green Lantern game, though? Like, I don't envy the people that would have to make that.
It looks like it's kind of like the Green Lantern power translates to like a mana thing. Like you have to charge up your mana in certain games.
My point though is that Green Lantern can make anything according to his imagination and willpower. Right. That doesn't translate to video games.
Well, you have a very limited imagination.
Exactly.
Then. Every button's a separate piece of imagination.
Right. And that's very I mean, to me, I wouldn't feel like I'm Green Lantern. I would feel like I'm a robot that can only do certain functions.
Right.
Which essentially is what that would be.
Well, it looks like he gets like a big sword for combat, or look at that, he can make a Giganto Fisto.
Of course, that's gotta be
punch shit. Yeah. See, look at him punching shit with that. That's Ryan Reynolds in the movie. Yeah. But yeah, see, there's the sword, and he's just going to town with his imagination, man.
Yeah. Like I said,
totally got to play that tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know who can make a good Green Lantern game or how it can be done, but unfortunately, as much as I love Green Lantern, I don't see him ever having like a decent video game.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I
mean, because once again, just from a technical standpoint, I don't see how you do it. So.
I don't know. Maybe technology one day would become good enough. We'll see.
Yeah.
It had to be some tremendous technology. Mm-hmm. Either that or my imagination just isn't on par with that.
Right. With what we have today, I don't see how it can be done. And to a lesser extent, it's almost the same thing with Superman. Even though I know they're working on a Superman game, like someone that can fly from one end of Metropolis to the other end in 2 seconds flat. How, and I'm understating Superman.
Oh, that's just fast travel.
That's fast travel.
That's what they'll call that. Just
right.
Done.
And also, is every bad guy gonna have kryptonite?
Oh yeah. The plot line's gonna be something really stupid, to where it's like a kryptonite meteor was stolen, and now every villain in town has a sizable chunk of it.
Or does the sun turn slightly red so that you're not completely depowered, but you can be hurt? Like, how do you make a good Superman game?
I can see that.
Right.
Or it'd be bad, but I can see it.
It's everyone that you fight will either have to be have stolen kryptonite, or they have magic-based powers. Like, unless you're fighting Shazam or Black Adam, I'm not sure who all else can naturally hurt him.
Darkseid,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Darkseid, Doomsday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Batman.
Yeah. Batman would be the boss of the game.
There it is.
And then the game would be unbeatable.
Yep. He'd be the bonus boss. He'd be the Sephiroth of the game.
Right.
There it is. Yeah.
No, but making a Superman video game would be hard just because, it's hard to find a challenge for him in the comics. Better yet, finding a challenge for him in a video game, that would have it make sense. That would have it be cohesive enough to make sense.
If there's one daggum Easter egg about him lifting Infinity, I'm just going to break the game. That's it. Like, you have to lift Infinity now to get this done. No, do not make me reenact that.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, though, like, typical Superman can't do that. That was like Superman who was...
That older Superman that was written
Well, no, even then, like the only reason he could do it is because he had overexposure to the sun's radiation, and it overpowered him, but it also poisoned him. So even though he could live infinity, I think he was also dying at the same time. So it wasn't anything super permanent.
Doesn't fix it for me.
Yeah, the fact that he did it is still bullshit, but
exactly.
it's not like it was a thing in his repertoire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So enough of shitting on Superman for his ridiculous OP status. But his ridiculous OP status, though, is really what makes it difficult to make a video game for him.
Yeah.
I mean, because with Batman, you feel like a badass playing any of the Arkham games, because you're like, oh shit, I'm doing what Batman would do in the situation.
Yep.
But you put Superman in any kind of situation, it's like, well, I would move so fast that nothing can see me and break everything.
What if they made it like a galaxy game, whereas you're flying across like your galaxy and maybe into other universes or something? That could be cool. They don't have to limit it to just planet Earth,
I guess they don't, but where would he go to that would make canonical sense?
I don't know, man. Just let them have a chance.
Right.
Maybe.
It's like, why would Superman fly to other galaxies? Because my first thought was that, canonically speaking, you're in Green Lantern territory.
Yeah, no, that he can't do that. That's uncool. No, the Green Lanterns be pissed.
Yeah.
Nah, bruh, you got to go back.
Right.
This ain't Metropolis, son. You're on the wrong side of the stars.
Yeah. But, like I've already said, if anyone can do it, Rocksteady can do it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm going to withhold all judgment until I see some kind of footage.
Sure.
And that is if this is the game that they're working on, but I think it is.
Let me ask you this then. Let's break into this in a new light. What has been your favorite superhero-based video game?
That's a way hard question, man.
Yeah.
Way hard question.
Or what's been one that you... Let's make it simpler then.
Okay.
What's one that you have fond memories of? One that maybe we haven't even mentioned yet.
Any of the Arkham games.
Of course. I mean, well, that was too easy for you then now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other than the Arkham series, which... I suppose, the Arkham series is my absolute favorite.
Of course.
I love all 4 games in the Arkham series.
They were all good. Yeah.
All super fun. But other than that, like the X-Men Legends and the Ultimate Alliance franchise, I absolutely adore.
That was one I was going to mention, actually. The X-Men Legends. I loved that game, dude.
Yeah.
I actually remember playing the one with Apocalypse numerous times.
Yeah, that's the second one, yeah.
Yeah. And I had like Iron Man unlocked. I had like all the alternate costumes. It was good, yeah.
It was way fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun. That game was so good because, like, whoever wrote that game, and also the Ultimate Alliance game, specifically the first one, they took so much care to creating a cohesive, canonically correct story that was also original.
Yep.
So it was so much fun to play. Like you mentioned in the X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, that one was so fun because that opened up the road for the players. Like the entire thing was 2-player.
Oh yeah, which was great.
Co-op, of course. And
we played that together, didn't we?
I don't know.
Remember.
I don't know. I don't know if I knew you when that one came out. Maybe.
I think we did. So. Yeah.
But also you could play as the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants. So you could play as Magneto this time around, which was so much fun. And like I said, they opened up the roster a lot because this was a lot of people's first exposure to Deadpool. You can unlock him actually as well.
He was a little OP. There was too much you could do with him.
Yeah.
Yep. Iron Man was weird in that game. I remember his powers like, oh, he has 1 or 2 really awesome moves, and then like, what are these other things? Like bouncing balls? What? Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. And then you could use Toad for some reason. I mean...
Brotherhood, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I'm not going to choose Toad over, like, Iceman who had that ice shard exploding grenade. That was an awesome move. Or, like, Cyclops. He was cool in that game. Yeah, there were options.
Right. Yeah, that was a really fun game. Ironically... Yeah, never mind. I was going to say, was Jean Grey in it? She was in it, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. And you could eventually like level her up to where she also got her Phoenix ability. Because at first when you get her, she was just Jean Grey. But eventually you unlock the Phoenix capability, I think, with so many level ups with her or something.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, because then you could do like a bunch of crazy shit with her, like Fire Blast and techno, radial shit. Yeah.
What's really unfortunate for me is that there's a lot of times where, like, even before this conversation, there's been a lot of times where I really want to play those games, and I do have X-Men Legends 2 for PSP, and that game somehow was, I dare say, even better on the PSP, because when it wasn't ported over, it was like created also for the PSP, so it's not a sloppy port.
Yeah,
and even the PSP back then had some internet capabilities, so you could play online with other people, and it also scaled really well, so it looked tremendous actually on the PSP.
Okay.
And I would just love playing that game on the PSP while, maybe watching something stupid in the background. That's like my favorite pastime. And I do actually still have that game for the PSP. Unfortunately, I cannot find my PSP. So that
we talked about that the other day. Yeah.
Yep, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. But no, X-Men Legends 2 was great, and then that naturally led right into Ultimate Alliance 1.
Yeah. And those were fun games. I know we played both of those together. Yeah.
Not too long ago, actually.
Yeah. I remember. We played Ultimate Alliance 2, and okay, many times when we're playing games, everybody, Q and I will sit there and be like, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know, man. Well, I'm down for whatever quest at this point. We're very open-minded, in other words. Neither of us say we're doing this or that hard. But for this game, my man Q here, we're starting Ultimate Alliance, and he knew I've never played it before. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's get into it. Hell yeah, I'm down for this. We're playing it. And then he goes, by the way, we're choosing Captain America's side. There's no option. We're choosing his side.
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the game, guys, for those of you who haven't played it, it's loosely based off of the Civil War story arc. So there comes a time we have to either choose Tony Stark and the Superior Registration Act or Captain America and rebel. So, yeah, I always chose to rebel.
Yep. And that was fun, admittedly. Rebelling was a lot of fun. I still don't know Iron Man's side. And even on your most recent playthrough, didn't you still choose Captain's side?
I believe I did.
Yeah, you even said you were going to choose Iron Man's side.
I did. No regrets, said.
We still have no idea about that other half of that game.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Or matter. Other whatever percentage. But,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the government.
Well hidden in the middle of this podcast. FBI still comes and finds us.
Right. But no, the Ultimate Alliance franchise was tremendous.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. It really opened up the world even more. So not only it wasn't just, mutants that you could play as, but it's like majority of the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of fun. I will say this because Ultimate Alliance, honestly, guys, it's just a spiritual successor to X-Men Legends. Mm-hmm. So, if you get the games confused, don't worry because they're almost one and the same.
Yeah. Play styles, level up styles, exactly. A lot about them are the same. Yeah. Customizing teams. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's, like you said, it's all the same. With that being said, there were some criticisms about the game that are legit. For example, there's a lot of character types that are just that, they're character types. So, for example, if you have Wolverine, Deadpool, and some other members on your team, they all kind of play the same. If you have certain people that fly and shoot beams, they all kind of play the same.
Right. Yeah.
And that was kind of a criticism of the game. At one point, honestly, if you have, I remember specifically, if you have Iron Fist, Daredevil, Black Panther, and they play all exactly the same, and it's what am I doing here?
Yep. This is who do I feel like beating up using the square and triangle attack?
Right. Yeah. Which skin do I want to wear while I button mash?
Yep.
But then that kind of leads me right into my next question for you, Kevin. Is moving forward, what kind of superhero-based video game do you want to see?
Honestly, what we were talking about earlier, I want to see that. I want to see a hard, new age, well-made Ultimate Alliance 3 type. That could be fun. Also, trying to think. I don't really want to see another Deadpool game. That it looked interesting. I never played it. I'm trying to think. I want to see something fresh that's not coming from a movie. Mm-hmm. You know? And again, that kind of falls in line with Ultimate Alliance and whatnot.
Yeah, and the Arkham series.
Yeah.
Fortunately, most recent superhero games. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Something that I don't know why I'm going back to this. That it's an interesting thought, but maybe something that introduces like a galaxy type thing. Like instead of just being stuck on Earth, you're going across everywhere. But something still really fun that you can do couch co-op. If I'm asking for too much, let me know. But yeah, and something that obviously values story over, you know, please buy more DLC packages and the gold edition.
I think now we're asking too much of the developers. You want them to make couch co-op and no DLC? Oh man.
No, I'm not saying no DLC, but a game that's not focused on hey, here's the game and now you have to buy the DLC later type thing. You know, I don't want them to Destiny us.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that could be fun. I feel like that could be good. What about you, man? What are you thinking?
I would like to. It's too easy to say I want to see another Batman game because I do.
Yes.
But no, honestly, as much as I love the Arkham series, I don't know where they could go from here because they've done so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, it'd just be almost milking the franchise and disenfranchising it.
Exactly. Good use of wording. What do you feel about the Batman Telltale games? I've seen you play those a few times.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I absolutely love those games. Because what they do is they really make a twist on the lore and on the canon, and they play with that a lot. In a good way. It's not like it's so jarring that it devalues your playing of it. No, it still makes it just as fun and interesting, but it's also intricate because what makes this game different, I guess just really quick. So if you guys haven't played any of the Telltale video games, they're basically almost like, you know, choose your own adventure style video games.
Right.
So
super fun.
Yeah, they're really fun. So like for example, they're always really strong narrative driven games. And what happens is that you're presented with a choice, and then you have to make your decision typically within a timed manner. And then there's a lot of quick time events that happen. So you really have to be up on your controller functions and what button is what.
Yep.
But no, they're really fun and intricate games because, like I said, a lot of them are like those old school books where you choose your own adventure and then turn the page such and such.
Yeah, page turn to 67. Yeah,
exactly. Except in this, you can't cheat and look ahead and see what happens unless you go online.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so doing that as Batman and Bruce Wayne was really fun because what made this different from other Telltale games is that in the other Telltale games, I would make decisions based on what I would do, but in the Batman series, I would make decisions based on what Batman would do. And that's a real difference that I noticed in my playstyle.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually. We've conversed about that before. And I'm going to add one more thing to my answer. Whomever makes the game, I want it to be CD Projekt Red.
Now you're asking for way too much.
No. I'm going to write them a letter, and then I'm going to call them.
What
and
about
then we're going to take a vacation to Europe.
What about Santa Monica? God of War.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see that too. Yeah, okay. But they have to do the same thing they did for God of War in that game. Which is awesome. The whole like no cutscene, seamless gameplay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that Santa Monica would be more equipped to make a video game than CD Projekt Red.
What if they did it together?
Now you're just asking for way too much.
I'm dreaming at this point. I'm daydreaming. Yeah, the perfect game.
I don't like that idea.
You don't like that idea?
Just because it's the same thing. Like, oh man, what if you have two great directors work together, like Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder?
No, don't you dare! Don't you dare put that logic behind this. That's some shit. Well, the problem there is that they're opposing forces. You know, yeah. So, but Santa Monica, I could totally see them rocking out a good superhero video game. I would want them to make the next God of War first, respectively. I want that right daggum now. But yes, and I still want to throw the axe. Santa Monica, I hope you're hearing. Not the place, but the studio.
Well, imagine being the Thor game then. They'd nail that shit.
They would nail that shit. But I would have such a hard time playing as Thor now.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so torn. I'm glad you know what I'm saying so I don't have to go into detail and possibly spoil shit, which I don't want to do at all.
Right.
But, yeah, that... Actually, a Thor video game from the Marvel side of things would be fascinating.
Mm-hmm. I can see like the Bifrost taking you to the different realms. That would be the different worlds you could go to and fight on.
Have to work hard to not copy and paste God of War.
Kind of. Yeah. They would have to put their own stamp on it for sure.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is, like, it wouldn't be as good as God of War.
No, God of War has already done it.
Yeah.
I cannot. I don't mean to turn this into a God of War podcast part 2, but I really, really, really want to see the other realms. I'm really hoping that comes out soon. But hey, guys, we talk a lot more about that great game on the Patreon podcast. Just
that we do.
FYI, yeah.
That we do. Oh man. But no, I guess just back to the Telltale thing. I love the Batman Telltale series.
Yeah.
And I hope they do more with it. Like, it was super fun to see my decisions from the first Batman game come over to the second one.
Yeah, which was super cool that they did the crossover there. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. Really cool. As far as, like, other games that I would want, man, like, it's so difficult. Like, besides the Ultimate Alliance 3, which I would absolutely want.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. A Thor game could be fun. Because I can't think of... You know what? It's time. It's time to do another Google search. Gonna look up and see if there's ever been a Thor video game.
Yeah, Thor standalone one. Yeah.
How's about I type in standalone video game? Thor video game. Yeah, no, there has been. Dadgum. Okay. Thor, God of Thunder, also released for Nintendo 3DS. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's just called Thor, God of Thunder. Got your little health circle and your power circle, I guess.
For mana.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. Okay, yeah, a little bit of combat style there going on. Look at that old school city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But one property style that we haven't touched on, or one genre that we haven't mentioned, is the fighting genre. There's a lot there too. Like the Marvel vs. Capcom series is one, and of course the Injustice series is another big one. Now, you and I, we both played like a pretty decent amount of the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
I'm a huge fan of the most valuable Marvel vs. Capcom game, and I loved it. I loved the character selection. I loved
the second one.
Exactly. Yeah. The one where you can go all out and be like, oh, I want this and that character, this and that character, and then it's just like spam the Sentinel robot the entire fight. That was some cheap shit, but dang it if it didn't work. Man, I have so many fun memories with that game. In fact, short story time. So there's this really cool kid I knew in middle school who was 7th grade, and I'll never forget. And I was so disappointed in my family at this, but I don't remember his name, but whatever. Either way, he had the game. He had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I was like, what? I gotta play that. And he and I were friends, and so I was like, yeah, can I borrow that? Is it cool if I borrow that? Yeah, okay, no problem. Just please return it to me over Christmas break. So I borrowed it, and I had a week. And then I'd go back to school, and we'd have like a couple days before Christmas break this year, right? So I'm playing the game. I'm having a great time, right? But idiot me in middle school, I forgot to bring the game back to school that day. So, and it was an honest mistake. I honestly forgot it. And he was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But it's cool. Just go ahead and borrow the game. So I was kind of like, well, I accidentally forgot to bring the game back, but that doesn't mean I can't play it anymore. So I kept playing it through Christmas break, and I let my cousin play it, and then his baby brother, my other cousin, was trying to play it. Not going to mention names here. Brad. And he breaks it.
Damn.
Literally, I'm not talking like the game was frozen and some shit was ruined. No. He takes a CD and breaks it in half. And so I'm sitting here with a broken Marvel vs. Capcom 2 disc that my uncle said he was going to replace but never did. And my baby cousin broke, and he was young. He didn't know what he was doing at the time. Admittedly, looking back on it,
no excuse.
No, I was still pissed. Exactly. Yeah. Even in middle school, I knew I was pissed. Okay, and I wasn't allowed to say pissed. But I presented the CD back to him and said, "Look, dude, I am super sorry. This was my cousin's fault. But in turn, I should have known better than to, let this situation." You get it. That's what I said. He never spoke to me again.
I don't blame him.
That friendship was ruined.
Don't blame him. That could have been in another dimension. That was me in that scenario. And not only did we not end up as friends, but I probably beat you up because you let my game get broken. What makes that story even worse is that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is extremely rare.
Exactly. And it's hard to find now. And I even remember 8th grade year looking it up because I still feel guilty. A grade year later, I was like, shit, man, that game. And I remember looking it up and I was like, shit, this is still an expensive game. 9th grade, I looked it up again. After 9th grade, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
But at this point, I was just like, yeah, let me find this game. Oh my gosh, it's still super expensive. And I'm a broke high school kid. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So he never got his game back. And I don't think he's ever liked me since. And we never were friends after that. But yeah, that was my bad. So if for some reason that guy is listening, you know who you are. My bad again.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess there was a valuable lesson to be learned there. That is, never lend out something that you can't do without.
Exactly.
And those are words that I live by. And I cannot live without anything, so I don't lend out anything. So there.
Yep. Except the comics I borrowed to read for the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the moment one comes back with a single damn scratch or ding, I'm cutting you off.
Gonna have to bootleg my comics offline. Yeah. Why is that not a thing yet? Is that a thing? Can you bootleg comics? I don't know. I feel like that should be a thing.
No, because even there's apps that you can download, but you still have to pay for them.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to make this a podcast about comics, as ironic as that sounds. But
a little bit.
Yeah, I could never read comics on a screen.
Yeah,
I have to hold the book in my hand, have to feel the pages. That's for me. That's part of the experience. But no, back to video games. Marvel vs. Capcom was definitely a jewel for the superhero video game section. Those games really went above and beyond. I mean, because let's be honest, for the most part, people are always familiar with the Marvel characters, but then you kind of struggle figuring out who the hell other Capcom people are.
Yeah, the cactus. Who the hell is the cactus? You remember what I'm talking about. Come on, dig deep. Dig deep, buddy. Think about it. There was a cactus, and he was he could bend and kind of do plant-based moves, and he was a cactus.
I'd have to go back and see it. I don't know what else to say.
All right, Google, I need your powers again. Come here.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, Capcom just had a lot of the obscure characters.
This guy. I don't
remember him.
Oh, but, he was the fat little dude, wore a sombrero and everything.
I see that.
I have no idea where he came from. I don't know what he existed in. But some of the characters were really cool, and we did know about them.
Yeah. Of course, there's Strider Hiru. He was also one of my favorites.
Ryu.
Of course, Ryu. Mega Man. There was the Resident Evil side of the table.
Yeah, Jill was there, and that was super cool for a while. Recently, Chris in the newest installation.
And then even Wesker came into the fold.
Oh, yeah. He was a little OP. He was difficult, but when you learned how to use him, dadgum was he good.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, Dante from Devil May Cry.
I loved using Dante. He was OP.
Yeah.
I would cheat using him.
But, this game or the whole series introduced a lot of like mashups that you would never think but were really cool. Like, who would win between Deadpool and Dante? You know, like that's a tough question.
If it was me, Dante.
I mean, putting your bias aside.
Well, no, I always played with Dante, and I got to where, like, I was not trying to toot horns here, but I was honestly stupid good with Dante. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter who else was on my team. If I had Dante, shit got real, you know? But, yeah. That's because they overpowered him, honestly. And that's just the honest truth.
Yeah. But, well, I guess we have to be fair here. Like, the game is called Marvel vs. Capcom, but it was made strictly by Capcom.
Also, good. Touche. Which we can kind of tell because in MVC 2, yes, I abbreviated, we got Wolverine and then Boneclaw Wolverine, but then eventually they just kind of killed that and said, oh, never mind, you only get the one. And
I mean, like, honestly, that makes sense.
But
you don't need Boneclaw and regular Wolverine.
Hey,
especially since they weren't really that different.
Middle school me cared, okay?
I mean,
middle school me cared, man. All right?
I mean, it was just like
Boneclaw was faster.
It's just like they had Ryu and Ken, but they got rid of Ken because why do you need both of them in that game?
Because they're iconic as hell and they're cool. And it was cheaper to get rid of them, admittedly, yes, because if you notice, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had far less of a roster.
Right. That was one of people's main complaints about Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was the slated roster. It just didn't have that deep roster that they were used to, that the players were used to. I still enjoyed it because, for me, when I look at a fighting game specifically that has a smaller roster, 9 times out of 10, that means they gave more care to developing each character in their specific playstyle,
right?
So that no two characters play the same, which is something that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did not do. Like, there are a lot of characters that played the same there.
Well, exactly. Boneclaw versus Wolverine, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And
one's faster.
But in this one, though, or in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like, I don't really recall anyone playing the same as another character. Like, they... Yeah. And actually, I played Infinite. I don't know if you've played that one yet.
I think I played it. I think I almost bought it, actually. Give me a second. Let's see. 3. Let me look up. Oh, what? Okay. Give my computer a second. It's wanting to be slow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played Infinite. No, I played 3. Infinite came out just after 3, and I hadn't had a chance to play
Infinite came out some years after 3.
Yeah.
That's the one that came out like last year.
No, I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah.
How was it compared to 3?
I actually thought it was better overall than 3. Had a bigger roster, and they actually shaved it down so that it's only 2 versus 2 instead of 3-on-3.
That's refreshing. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course the Infinity Gems are heavily involved in that game, so you can actually use those in game to like kind of buff your characters and like do special abilities.
Yeah.
But no, that was really fun. What I really liked about that game is, to me, it reminded me a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter Z. In the sense that you could be a newbie at that game and still have a good time, but if you're also an experienced player, you could still have a great time because there were like somehow they made these fighting games so that skill set doesn't really matter. Like if you're new and playing it, you can still pick it up and learn pretty easily, but if you're experienced, then it definitely still shows.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool. But no, Infinite was a really good game overall.
Oh wow! I mean, it's on sale for like $20 at Walmart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation Network has had it on sale quite a few times.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, overall, I really enjoyed it. I like that they finally narrowed it down to 2 versus 2. Also, just because, just like the
1-on-1, you mean?
No, it's 2-on-2.
2-on-2. Okay, 2-on-2. Okay.
Just because the sheer chaos in that of 3-on-3 is just too much. Like the screen is too busy and it becomes like too flashy.
I will say this though, I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the trifecta super attack. I would always charge up and do the same one. I had Adamantium Wolverine, I had the boat lady, the pirate chick. I don't know if you remember her. I don't remember any Capcom names. I had those two, and I had the Sentinel. That was always my team. Yeah. And as middle school me, that was all I needed. I didn't need Storm or Magneto or Ryu and Strider. I had those three, and I knew I always win with those three.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's move over to the Injustice side of things real quick.
Yeah, let's do.
Right.
Do you have both of those, or
actually I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Yep. Waiting for the second one to go on sale.
Okay.
And I know what you guys are thinking. Like, you guys are really big comic book superhero guys. You're the superhero homies. Why don't you have all these? Well, it's simple, really, because as much as I love comic books and superheroes, I'm not that big into fighting games.
And my reason, so I had a chance to sit down with a friend and play the first one, the first Injustice, and he went home and fell asleep or whatever, and I stayed and played the game, and I beat it in one day. It took me not much time at all. So at that point, I was like, well, I'm not buying this. I already beat it. Yeah.
That's the same thing for Marvel vs. Capcom, though. They're all beatable in a day.
What?
Yeah.
What do you speak of?
Yeah, no, they're all definitely beatable in a day as far as like the story goes.
Well, older me cared about that.
Keep in mind, people, Injustice 1 came out, 3 years ago? So this wasn't a much younger.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, remember? That was middle school Kevin, right, brah? We don't recognize him no more.
Oh, geez.
He's a memory. And then, 3 years ago. Yeah, that was a different time. Yeah, a little different. But you're right. No, today I would definitely care about that.
Yeah. No, the Injustice series, though, as a whole, I think is actually pretty good. I actually really like the story. The story is actually so good that that's where the Injustice comics come from now. Yeah, and the Injustice comic series is actually a really good series, almost like a really big What If series. But it's actually pretty fun. The game itself does play a lot like Mortal Kombat, which did draw me to it.
Because I noticed that as well.
Yeah, because I do like the Mortal Kombat franchise. Like, as far as fighting games go, like the top tier is always, for me, Mortal Kombat, and second Street Fighter. And so the fact that this is based, off the Mortal Kombat franchise really, I really dug that aspect of it. Simply because Mortal Kombat, over the years, they've developed this really cool thing where, like, you actually have to learn what you're doing. Like, button mashing in a Mortal Kombat game really won't get you anywhere. Almost like Street Fighter. Street Fighter won't get you anywhere either. But in the Injustice series, not only did they have an actual story, as ridiculous as it could be sometimes, there was a story that you could actually follow. But, you go through and you play as all these different characters and see how they incorporate, these superheroes in these otherworldly scenarios. So I really dug the Injustice franchise. And, as soon as it goes on Supercell, I'll probably pick up the second one. My thing of it is that, once again, even though I like the Mortal Kombat franchise and Injustice, since it's like a spiritual successor, I'm not necessarily good at any of them. At least, like, when I say I'm not good, like, I'm good against the computer, but everyone's good with the AI.
Right, yeah, the computer was easy.
Yeah, and like, in every fighting game, if you can't beat the AI, then I'm sorry.
Right. Good luck against the guy who's been playing for hours.
Exactly, yeah. The real test is how good are you against other real players.
Yeah. Who is your favorite character in Injustice?
Batman.
Duh. Didn't even take time to think about it. Damn. Mine was Deathstroke. I loved using Deathstroke. Man. Yeah. His range attacks were awesome, and I liked those a lot. Plus, he had a sword, which I thought was badass. It's like, I'm gonna cut you down, Superman. Literally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No. Deathstroke was cool though, but I dug Batman a lot.
You said that so matter of factly, like you were offended I even asked.
A little bit. If I'm being honest.
Who's your favorite character? Batman, you son of a bitch. Whoa. Like, I caught the revive of that a little bit. I love it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, other than Batman, I really like using the Flash. I really like how he played because even like his punches were faster, like the animations were faster.
Yeah.
So it felt really fun using him.
Yeah.
And let's see, who else do I usually like to use?
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't bad with Joker.
Oh,
Damn, like I like using him
Joker
too.
actually, if you got the hang of him, he was really good.
Yeah,
because you really just couldn't touch him. Like Joker was actually really good in that game.
He had some weird, crazy shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
And then Superman was easy to use. I kind of got tired of Superman after a while.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for the fighting genre of these games.
Yeah, I can't think of
there's not like another really big mainstream one. You know, to be honest, I'm not sure where either franchise goes from here.
I'm curious. Yeah.
You know, just because for whatever reasons, Infinite got really lukewarm reviews. Like a lot of player reviews just didn't care for it that much. Not really certain why. I don't know if it's time to shake it up a little bit or what the case may be. But you know, once again, fighting games really aren't my forte, just because to me, there's not a lot of depth to fighting games. Like I can't sit down with a fighting game and, you know,
experience something.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like shooter games, you know, like when it's just like a big, you know, PvP map. For me, I can't sit down for a long time and really enjoy it because I'm not making any kind of progress to me.
Right.
Like I'm not really doing anything.
I will say this though. There are certain shooter games that stuck out to me growing up. Like I was a Halo kid. I loved Halo growing up. Until it became, you know, multiplayer more so than story. Cause,
well, that's what I mean. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Borderlands, though, that was my shit.
Yeah.
You know that was my shit. I platinumed both of those.
Yeah. But there's more than two.
Well, I technically did platinum the last one, but only once, and it only exists on your system. So I don't really count that anymore. Yeah. So technically, I platinumed all of them. Yeah,
But no, I was really just referring to like you know, people that sit down for hours and play shooters,
right?
For like in the multiplayer modes. That's never been my cup of tea.
The ones that we could bring in and say the names of, but we probably shouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, we know who those are.
Right. But no, I have the same mentality with the fighting games. Like I can't just sit down for, you know, for however long and unwind to, you know, fighting someone. Okay, here we go again. And
no, I agree. Like there are certain ones that have spiced it up and made it really awesome and really turned into a story. Like, and this is kind of moving outside of the superhero games genre and just going to games or fighting games in general genre. Like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, they really took their old formula and made something really great out of it, you know? Because it used to be that 2D scrolling fighter type thing, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But
I will say this, Fighter Z by far has a better fighting system.
That's true.
Like it's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close. As far as like the actual fighting goes. Of course, I love the world and story of Xenoverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've gone out the deep end here, folks.
We are. We're not even superheroes anymore.
Yeah.
We're DBZ fighters.
Yeah. We're Z Warriors now.
Where's my gold hair?
Yeah. Man, you got any closing comments or remark before we wrap this one up?
I really hope we do get a very cool video game soon, and not one that's, you know, lazily made just to boost movie love, you know, like a Infinity War video game, and it's just like some shabbily put together piece of crap, you know. If we do get another game, I hope it is on par with the Ultimate Alliances we fell in love with those X-Men Legends, you know, and it's not something or Arkham, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of potential out there, and like I said earlier on, there's a lot of understanding as to how to make a good game. So I just hope that they actually apply it and not give us some Nintendo Superman shit, you know?
Yeah.
How about you, man?
Yeah, so for me, honestly, moving forward, I do think I think it's really weird, first of all, that there's not more effort put into making superhero games just because of how popular they are now. Once again, not saying that they should be based off the movies, not by any means, but seeing that these characters and that these properties are so popular and valuable, you think that it'd be a gold mine for, video game programmers or these big video game companies to invest more time and effort into making more superhero video games.
Yeah.
I guess to me, it seems like it'd be like an obvious thing to do, but I guess, there could be difficulties with getting the property rights for those characters and, what you can do with them. And yeah, so it can probably be a pretty big headache. But the way I look at it is if Rocksteady, at the time, back in 2009, when this company was just a relatively unknown company, if they can get the rights to make a kick-ass Batman game, then there's no reason why any other company couldn't get the rights to any other superhero.
Like CD Projekt Red. You're right. That's a great point, my friend. You're a smart man.
I don't know.
We're going to write CD Projekt Red.
If they have the fighting mechanics for a superhero game. I think Santa Monica, out of the two, Santa Monica would definitely have the better fighting mechanical system.
Okay, that's not upsetting. Actually, we'll go to Santa Monica. Okay, cool.
But I don't know. I think that maybe if you, I don't know, just thinking about what else they could do with the superhero video game genre. Maybe that's why they haven't done so, because it's just difficult to even come up with a good concept.
Yeah.
Once again, if
a fresh concept. Yeah.
If Rocksteady comes up with a Superman game like they've been rumored to do, then as good as they are, I'd be curious to see how it works out. Of course, I'll play it. And the new Avengers game, if it is going to be an Ultimate Alliance game, then I think that there's a lot of potential there, just because I don't want people to think that co-op, specifically couch co-op, is a dead genre, because it's not.
Exactly. It's great.
Yeah. And they know that, but you make more money off of online co-op just because you have to have 2 copies of the game. So yeah, I don't know. But Ultimate Alliance 3, I think, would eat up so much of my time. It would eat up so much of my time. They would really have to work on developing the heroes. I would even say lessen the roster if that means that they're all get more specific abilities and play style.
Yep, agreed. Yep. Not holding my breath.
Oh,
I just want so many people. I want option C, where they make everyone individual, but I want 100 people. I'm joking. I don't want that much. I do agree. Make them different characters, but
yeah. Oh, also, before we close, we have to talk about the Spider-Man game coming up. I can't believe we forgot about that one.
Yeah. I even saw pictures of it. Yeah. What the hell?
Right. Real quick, could you see who's making that one? Because I forget the publisher. But this game looks damn good. It looks amazing. But I don't remember the publisher. For you guys that don't know, in early September, a Spider-Man game is going to be released for the PS4, and it looks really good.
Oh, yeah. Damn, this looks good. Okay, so developer is Insomniac Games.
Insomniac, that's right.
Publisher is obviously Sony.
Yeah, the same guys that made Infamous, actually, another superhero-based video game.
Yeah, Infamous was super fun.
Yeah. I've played the first 2 intensely, and those were really drove me into the Infamous series. But no, I think that this is going to be like Infamous, but Spider-Man and on a bigger scale. Even from a graphical standpoint, it looks amazing. And I know a lot of the computer playing homies out there listening are probably scoffing right now. But for a console, this game looks extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well polished. Spider-Man, I think, looks great. The city looks great. And if they fill the city with plenty to do, then this can be a really great game. I think that this can be like what Spider-Man 2 would be like if it came out today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except not based off a movie. Like they have their own story to play with here, and I would love that concept. I think that this game has a lot of potential to be one of the best.
Yeah.
we'll see, man.
Right. I mean,
2018.
Yeah, September. I watched a lot of some of the gameplay footage, and it does play like Arkham, but with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. I had mixed emotions about it because I was like, how dare you copy my Batman franchise? But on the other hand, I welcome all cool ass superhero games, and this definitely looks to be one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys haven't seen anything on it, definitely check it out. They got some trailers online now. And it comes out later on this year. So if you guys also play video games, which we encourage you to do so,
you heard it here.
Yeah, then definitely check this one out. Oh man. But for really real now, we're gonna go ahead and close.
Really real?
For really real. For really real.
For really real.
We're not playing around no more. Yeah. But yeah, guys, so as you can tell, Kevin and I, we do really enjoy a good video game.
We are quite passionate about it.
We are.
Indeed.
Yep. In another dimension, we're the video game homies. The Super Smash homies. That's what we are in another universe. Yep.
But we hate Super Smash Bros. Still.
Damn. I didn't say that. Kevin said that.
Oh, it's okay. I'll say it again.
But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. For you guys that play video games. And then if you don't, then hopefully you still find a lot of wealth of knowledge in this as well. You know, I used quotation marks around those words.
Nah.
Because we are neither wealthy or knowledgeable. But we are passionate about
quite passionate, and that makes everything okay. Dot. So we hope.
Right. So really quick, guys, before you guys turn off the podcast, tomorrow night actually we will be coming back and podcasting again. We'll be doing our podcast review breakdown of DC Rebirth: The Button. That's the Barry Allen Flash and Batman team up, and it's a really great read. Really great read. And so I can't wait to come back tomorrow night and do that one. So you guys have something to look forward to. Back-to-back podcast night.
Yeah.
But
accidentally happening.
Yeah. But as always, guys, if you are interested in more of our stuff that's maybe not so much superhero related, if you want more video game stuff, then you can always hop over to our Patreon page. That's www.patreon.com/superherohomies. And that'll take you right to our Patreon page where you can access even more of our material. We do, of course, cult classic movies such as The Big Lebowski.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to do another here really soon. Not sure which one. But there's a lot of options.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of options to pick from.
Right.
And also, guys, if you're quite passionate about all the superheroes, the video games, or both, or whatever, please feel free to message us. Talk with us about it. We're on Facebook and also through Gmail. You can easily reach us and let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings are. Or if you disagree and The Flash was the first video game and that Kevin did get that question right. We'd especially like to hear that.
Yeah, if you can go back in time and change the facts of life.
Hey, if anyone could, The Flash could.
Yep. But yeah, guys, be sure to check out Patreon. There's always going to be new content. We'll be covering Detroit Become Human soon, another video game. We've already done God of War. We do TV shows, new movies as well. We'll be doing The Incredibles really soon, next week, as a matter of fact. And if you just want our new movie reviews, they're only $1 a month. If you would like to access all of our material, then that's simply $3 a month. And you guys can get all of our Patreon material.
Yep.
But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. So we can go ahead and wrap it up. And as always, my name is Quentin.
I'm Kevin.
Till next time.